My name is Finnegan Paradise. I'm with the Congregational Church of South Dartmouth youth mission trip to Back Bay Mission. First time basically in the South other than going to Florida to visit family. So, I'm not built for heat, but I'm making it work. Yeah. My Massachusetts blood is very irked by being in hotter than 70-degree weather, basically. Well, I already knew about the construction and some helping with food and stuff like that. My first job that I did here was the mail desk at the Micah Day Center, and that was probably the best thing I could have done as a first thing because it forced me to get comfortable being around. Well, I knew I was already comfortable with small talk and talking to strangers, but it's not something to sound proud of, but I was a little nervous for what the people would be like, but it forced me to talk to and engage with people that weren't on the streets because they were bad people. They were on the streets because of some of them it could have just been a single unfortunate circumstance. So it forced me to really shift my views, I guess. Though, I knew going into it that if you're homeless, you're most likely just in a really tough situation that caused it. Well, there was one guy that he didn't really do anything special. It had just kind of occurred to me that he looked really young. A lot of the people that I saw come through the center looked aged in some way. They might not have been very old, but it looked like they'd been really changed by their circumstances. And I saw one guy that just looked really young and, for lack of a better word, normal. And then I saw him again at Loaves and Fishes. And it's odd seeing the same people going through all these different services and knowing that people or places like Back Bay Mission really are the lifeline for these people. They really don't have many other places to go to. So I remember there was one guy, I won't say him by name for privacy reasons obviously, but there was one guy that it was the dude who stood out to me for looking so young. I saw him at Loaves and Fishes, and just that one thing made me remember him by face and name. And so when I saw this stack of lost rewards cards for things, and I saw a debit card in the pile with his name on it, I was able to pick him out in the crowd and return his debit card to him. So that was a nice, I think that's probably something I'll remember. I saw another thing with most people in the US think that a sudden purchase of more than $100 or so might cripple them until their next paycheck. So it is really something that you have to think about, that it's not that these people made some crazy bad decision. They're normal people who had maybe just back-to-back bad things happen. Well, this is my first mission trip, but I've done small construction stuff before. I was comfortable operating the nail guns when we were doing the siding because I'd helped put up the siding on a shed for my grandpa before. My dad had basically, he didn't want to have to handle placing things and then getting the nail gun and then having to make sure that it didn't move after he placed it. So he just brought me along to do the nail gun part so that he could do the precise thing, and then I could just do the grunt work. Yeah, day or two ago. Yeah, is this? No, this would be my this is my third time back here doing the flooring. And the first day I did it, I was doing it with Pablo, and we only got 2 or 3 rows of the boards down when we were working together. But the next day, yesterday when I was just left to my own devices to figure it out, I got 5 rows of the boards done, and then today I was able to finish it. So I think I really shined doing it on my own, and maybe I should have expected that. I've never been a group project person, so I don't know why I thought that wouldn't translate over to something like construction, because I'd done group projects in engineering classes before, and I'm not a great group worker, which is definitely something you want to work on, but for my purposes, it helped get a necessary thing done quicker. So, maybe it just says something about me. I have very hard to handle ADHD. I've been on the I'm forgetting the big one. It isn't Adderall. Adderall is specifically dextroamphetamine. The one I have is a kind of variation of that same compound. But I take a medicine called Vyvanse that is very similar, again, to Adderall. And among the things it does, alongside helping me focus, is it makes me very focused, not on just staying on task, but it's almost like a compulsion to finish tasks once I start them. So maybe that's just controlling that hyperfixation. But once I'd started the flooring, I knew I had to finish it. Like, I'd already started. I couldn't just stop. Yeah, so I'm a junior at Dartmouth High School. I am in mostly honors classes. The only basic level class I'm taking is Spanish, just because I don't really plan on speaking Spanish that much. I'd rather just get through the class and get on my diploma that I'd done all my years of Spanish. But other than that, I'm in AP Chemistry and supplementing that with a organic chem class. And I kind of just last year figured out, because I took chemistry just on a whim, because my options were either so freshman year I had to take bio, and then sophomore year my options were either chemistry or go into something further with bio. Like, I could have taken anatomy or chemistry, and I didn't like bio. It just didn't make sense to me. So I took chem, and I just fell in love with the subject. And so I'm taking AP Chemistry this year. I've been a little rough this year on grades, but I've been staying around a low B, which, I mean, AP classes are early college courses essentially, so I'm happy I'm doing good at all. But so I've already made some efforts towards my future. I know I want to go to Worcester Polytech. Good school. It's close enough to home that I could go back see my parents sometimes. I applied into a summer program with Worcester Polytech. I'm doing 2 weeks this summer at the campus and trying out chemical engineering. And later this month, I'm going on a tour of the college. So I've shown my interest in building a portfolio with them. I've looked into there's actually a really good resource for anyone trying to figure out where they should be and what they should be making for the job that they work. If you go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they have this thing called the Employment Occupation, or the Occupational, it's like OOC is the acronym. But it's this collection of data on specific occupations, where you can see the location data for around the country, what you should be making, how much that job is employed, and then on the main page you can see the median salary across the country for that job. And I know the best place I could possibly be in the country for the job I want to get into is Houston, Texas, which, as I'm being violently reminded of this week, I am not built for. So it would very much be an adjustment, but the second highest you get paid in the country for chemical engineering is $112,000 a year, and then Texas is $150. So, I mean, it makes sense. That's where a lot of the military contractors are, which, sorry to go on a tangent, but I have kind of just come to terms with the fact that chemical engineering puts you into one of two industries. You're either working for 3M or you're working for DuPont, or you're working for Raytheon. You're either designing weapons or designing tape. And I know which one sounds more interesting, despite the morality aspect of it. I guess just I guess I could give the very basic answer of just a heightened appreciation for what I do have, because I'm very aware that I live in a very affluent area, and I come from a not rich, but like, as far as I know, my family's never really had to like worry about much. Like, I've always gotten like the like fun things I wanted for Christmas is like the pretty big example. Like, if you're getting everything you want every Christmas, your family's probably not struggling too much. So I understand that I'm very lucky to have the opportunities that I have, and seeing what I have versus what is happening to a lot of people down here is definitely something to remember, and it's definitely the kind of thing I'll bring back, because every place has a homeless population, but like, I know it's especially bad down here because it's, I remember, I forget who was saying it, but Mississippi's like one of the poorest states out there. Is it the poorest?
I don't know if we're number one anymore, but it's like either us or Arkansas, I think.
Yeah, it's one of the poorest places, and then Massachusetts. It's kind of, there's not many poor places up in the New England area just because it's been there so long. It's so established. There's not much that fails in an area that's so established. But yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something, like, I'm very glad I took this trip because I mean, it's just been a great experience to like broaden my horizons, like see what it's like in other places, because it's really easy to get into that like echo chamber of nothing's wrong because you can't see what's wrong. So sending yourself to somewhere where there are things visibly wrong and forcing yourself to see those things is definitely it's definitely something that's worth doing for anyone. And on top of that, I mean, like, I'm also like that. There's definitely a couple people that are annoyed that I took this trip because they wanted to have spring break with my girlfriend. I've been getting the "I miss you" text a lot, and I mean, it's hard for me as well. As much as I'm happily down here and helping people, I still am definitely getting like, it definitely surprised me that I'm not really homesick at all. I mostly just miss her. So
that means next time you got to bring her with. Next time y'all both come down here and be working in the bathroom.
I'll see what I can do. Support Back Bay Mission. I've definitely been helping people. I've been seeing visible like change with what I've done. So it's definitely a worthy cause to be putting time and money towards. So